Hello. Oh, so here's the thing. When someone says hello, there's usually a response back. So let me just tell you what's going on.
I just said the F word because he called me a liar. And when I didn't lie to him about any situation that was going on.
You figured out how to get all of those piercings, right? You figured out how to get the nails. You figured all of that out on your own. You need to figure this out on your own. Right, so does everyone know on this is the only reason why she's in custody is because the bondsman got off her bond?
I'm not aware. I think defense counsel.
That was my understanding, Larietta. That's my understanding. You want me to go find more information? I can't, Judge.
No, the clerk will, this is going to be taken care of today, just so you know.
Okay.
But I need to make sure that the only reason why you're in custody is because the bondsman,
The surety?
yes.
Yes,
Is that the only reason?
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, Judge.
All right. Oh, no problem. The system is the system.
Well, they sent it over right during the transition. And so the
Ah.
paperwork was, I sent a photo, but they said that wouldn't work.
All right. So I've signed the motion. I can tell you what's being added if it's not already a part of your conditions. I added and cause number ending in 2336, that there's to be no contact with the complainant.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I mean, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I'm thinking,
Yeah,
yes.
it's been no contact since then. and
All right.
Now, never.
Thank you.
So that's a part of your conditions.
Judge, as I mentioned, I've got other cases set today that we are going to work out. So
Okay.
just so you know, I understand we're cutting it close. I'll be here in the afternoon.
No, we're available in the afternoon. And state, you have no objection to reinstatement of the bond? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Deputy Laura, I'm signing the documents.
My client has obviously, since this case occurred back in July of 22, she's obviously stayed out of trouble, Your Honor. She's been to court. She is going to school. She's becoming a business, nevertheless.
Esthetician.
Currently she works as an esthetician, which is my understanding is skincare. And that's what she does for a living, but she's also going back to school to get her degree in business administration. She has two children, a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old that she takes care of. And this is a difficult case, obviously, for her, Judge. This is a true no contest plea, and this is what she believes is in her best interest. She wants to get off probation as soon as possible, do everything she can, Your Honor. So we just ask you to grant this and get closure on this.
All right, so Ms. Holmes, you understand when people ask you to leave their property, whether you think you're being evicted legally or not, it's always best to leave and then just handle things civilly. So if this were a case where you didn't think you were being evicted properly, all you had to do was, you know what? I'm going to file a civil case. And it appears that it is not a civil case that would be filed in district court based upon what the amount is. So you would just go to one of the JP courts and you just file it. And there are plenty of people who file that every day. And that's how you solve that, as opposed to coming here. Now you have all of these extra fees and you have this. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, of course, I always have to ask this question. The piercings underneath the lip, were those painful?
No, ma'am. I
Okay.
didn't get them at the same time either. I got them over a period of time.
So what order did you get them? What was the first one?
I had got this one, I was like 16,
Mhm.
and I got this one, I was like 19, and then I just got this one, and it just compliments when I smile.
Oh, okay. I'm always wondering. And the tattoos, what are the symbols for those?
It's really not too much no symbols, butterflies, music symbol. I play the piano,
Oh, wow.
Bible verses. I grew up in the church.
See, I always wanted to play the piano. And I was going to take it as an elective in college because everybody's like, it's an easy elective. Okay, I'm in a class that's supposed to be for beginners. Everybody in there had a piano at their home and had been playing forever. They were truly taking it as, yes. I couldn't even answer because our professor would say, in order to answer the roll call, you had to play the note he wanted you to play. I'm like, yeah, I'm out of
Drop
here.
that class.
I dropped it, but I dropped it before they were going to give me a W.
There you
I
go.
saw the writing on the wall before the end of the week. I was like, no.
Judge, as you know, you two that want to learn piano,
Oh.
YouTube will teach you immediately.
All right, we're gonna see. Well, don't put professors out of business. All right, so you're currently employed. Okay, so this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. Take in consideration 2023 CR 8418 and state, do you have that? There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom. Thank you.
Was the fine probated? Is that something I need to address? Or-
There was no fine asked for. You're welcome. Probation, anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Off the record, in this court, to be successful in probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel as though your probation officer isn't addressing it, you can always come back to the court and we'll take it up. All right, do you have any questions? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes,
Thank
once
you.
she talks to probation.
Yes.
Luis DeLeon. Is that the bond?
Sure.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. You're gonna need to speak up so the court reporter can hear and so I can hear.
Yes, ma'am. Larry Holmes.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
And Ms. Holmes, you're in custody pending a motion for an adjudication of guilt implication, right?
Yes,
Okay. Before you were arrested, were you working?
yes, I
What,
was.
what kind of work were you doing?
I'm a licensed esthetician.
And do you also receive any other type of assistance?
Yes, sir.
And what is that?
I receive SSIs, some benefits.
Okay. And if the court were to set a bond in this matter, you understand that would potentially, if you were able to make the bond, we would still have to come back to court for the motion to enter adjudication of guilt. Do you have funds available to where you could post bond?
Yes,
Okay, understanding that a 10% that the bondman might be necessary, do you have funds available to post a $30,000 bond?
not $30,000.
You have funds available to post a $5,000 bond. Is there any other family assistance that you would be able to rely on to come up with money to post bond?
A spouse and my,
That's all I have. Now.
All right, any questions, state?
Yes, Your Honor. Previous bond was at 15,000, is that correct? And did you make that bond?
yes.
And why was your bond, why were you remanded with that bond?
I honestly, I don't know. I just remember it's not bond. And they just came to pick me up.
What for the question, Your Honor?
All right, this is what the court is gonna do. The court is gonna set your bond at $30,000 and there's to be no contact with the elderly or the complainant in the new allegation. All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you'll give her a reset form, please. They will be back on Thursday,
I think we're already set Thursday, Judge.
but she doesn't have a reset form. I want to make sure she has one.
And Judge, if we need more time, can we address the court on that on Thursday?
Yes.
Thank you.
Here's the thing, you're gonna have to speak up. And you need to speak the way you speak when you're not in court before me. So whatever agreement you think you've worked out with the state, I don't have to follow that agreement because this is a contract and it's a contract with the court. It's not a contract with the state. It's not a contract with the defense. So you pled true to violation of condition number 4. Regardless of what agreement you think you've reached with the state, I can revoke you and sentence you to 10 years in prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, knowing that, do you still wish to proceed with this plea of true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, to deny the motion, continue on regular supervision and amend for the following conditions. immediate placement of GPS monitor for 6 months, proof of residence or proof of employment with every OV. Don't know what OV stands for. If no proof of employment, then proof of disability. If not on disability, 4 job searches per week, as well as minimum of 12 community service hours performed monthly, immediate enrollment in anger management course, IVR call inline for 4 months, bi-weekly reporting for 4 months.
All right. So here's my question. You want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Larryetta Holmes.
What have you done since you've been on probation?
Since I've been on probation, I did try to finish my classes.
So you didn't finish your classes, you tried to, all right?
For community service, because last time I was here, my lawyer asked if I could use, I was getting my BA,
Mhm.
and he asked if I could use that for community service.
And why didn't you finish that?
A lot in between the time happened, so I did have to drop.
What has happened?
Lights were turned off in November, and it was hard for me to try to get any type of assistance for it because it was overdue and they just turned it off. So in between time, I was trying to find assistance, I was trying to find work, and also trying to maintain my home, and keep up with everything that I could, and also raising my 2 children.
So where are your children now? Who's raising them?
My son, he's with his girlfriend, and my daughter, she's with my sister. She works, my son works. Both of them work, they're both of them in school, and they both get good grades.
Okay. So here's the thing with lights being turned off. Back in the day, people didn't have lights. You turn on a candle. And people always assume that where people are in their station in life is always where they've been. Like they never had financial problems or things haven't. I've had my lights turned off before. And you know what? My mom and my grandmother would always say, hey, whatever you do, make sure that you have if you're living in an apartment, make sure that's paid. If you're living in a house, make sure that paid. If the lights get turned off, if the water gets turned off, at least you'll always have a place to stay. So getting your lights turned off, and sometimes people like, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. It's like, I still have a place to stay. Getting lights turned off happens to everybody. I guarantee you, a majority of the people in this courtroom, attorneys included, deputies included, court reporter included, have at some point had some utility turned off. One time it happened to me, and it's just because I forgot to pay the bill. And I'm like, hey, why is my water not on? And they said, Stephanie Sauce came out and turned it off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to pay my bill. And they came out and turned it back on, of course. But that's nothing to be embarrassed about. So, and the reason why I'm telling you this story is because you have to reach out to probation and tell them what's going on in your life. Otherwise, you could go to prison for 10 years.
Yes.
And then who's going to be taking care of your children?
Mhm.
Now, what's happening with the new number 1 in this case?
Judge, I can elaborate on that. That is an allegation based on a voicemail that was left with the landlord. I received a copy of the police report. The landlord sent a copy to the court, and that was forwarded to me by Norma. They took a police report based on a voicemail. And last time I looked, a voicemail doesn't arise to a Class C threat.
What?
So anyway, that'll have to be sorted out. I think that's obviously one of the reasons why we're not going on that today.
All right. So what's happening with this number 1?
That's a municipal court problem.
Okay.
So
All right. Probation. What is your recommendation?
Judge, the court summary, according to the sentence summary, is exactly what Mr. Edelman states.
All right. So why were you not reporting? That's the easiest thing, to pick up the phone.
I was communicating with my probation officer. I was
Not in March and April.
I was in March and April. I did. I even got kind of scared because he wasn't responding back to me. He never did tell me to come in. Everything that I was going through far as dealing with the landlord and also dealing with housing and my light still being not connected, I was communicating with him.
So has she been communicating?
Judge, I can check the notes.
All right.
That's one thing we discussed, Judge, is that communication, however the communication is not a substitute for reporting. And I think Larry understands that.
And my lawyer did make a good recommendation. He's when, communicating, texting, sometimes it's best for me to go down there, and I didn't know that. To set up an appointment, go down there so I could be seen, and that way it wouldn't be no miscommunications.
Judge. Last office visit in the system indicates February 28th and 2025. There was a text message sent out with an appointment scheduled in March. I don't see anything indicating there was a phone call with back to the officer and the same for April, Judge. There were also system text messages reminding his moms, you need to pay your fees. There's some batch emails that went out for services.
All right. This is her first motion to revoke. I'm going to tell you something I'm going to tell you right now. Number one, when your utilities are disconnected, that's nobody's fault but your own. If my utilities get disconnected because I forgot to pay, that's not their fault. It's not the utility company, it's my fault. Your emergency is not somebody else's priority unless they want to make it their priority. And when you have a landlord and part of your contract with your landlord is you pay rent and you pay utilities, when utilities get cut off, that means that you didn't pay them, or maybe the utility company made a mistake. If the utility company made a mistake, then they will come out and correct it. Now with CPS Energy, if they do that, they can turn it on immediately because they've switched out everybody's meter where they can operate it from in office. But when your utilities are cut off, one thing you do not do is on your own try to cut them back on or tamper with meters or anything of that nature. Do you understand?
I would never do that. I don't want to.
No, okay, here's the thing. Don't say that because that's what's in the police reports and everything. And the other thing is, it is clear from the court, based upon what you're on probation for, that you do have an anger issue. And it appears from the court that you don't know how to address your angers when things don't go your way other than lashing out at other people. That is going to stop. Otherwise, you're looking at 10 years in prison. Then the 10 years in prison, you can try and lash your anger out at other inmates. And you know what's going to end up happening? Somebody at the prison, somebody at the jail is going to be badder than you. And they're going to unleash anger on you. So if you don't want that to happen, then you had better change your ways. And this bullying thing that maybe you're doing with people that are older than you because you're on deferred adjudication for injury to the elderly, that's going to stop. And your landlord says that they're 57 and they have a disability and they're having to deal with you. So if you were living at that property, you don't have to worry about not having lights at that property because the court is no longer going to allow you to live at that property and you're no longer going to be allowed to have contact with her. If you have contact with her, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
See, and I don't know why you're giving me that attitude now. You know what you did to Miss Holmes, that breathing hard. No, that breathing hard thing. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's not going to be tolerated here. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
It's time for you to start showing respect to people, whether you think they're worthy of it or not, because you're landlord. Whether you think they're worthy of it or not, you need to show respect to them because you're living on their property in their house and they can take that away. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you need to start behaving differently so that your children will know the proper way to communicate and it's not through violence. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you're going to start completing the conditions of your probation immediately. And when you are released, if you don't start enrolling in these programs and completing them, a motion to revoke is going to be filed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions to the following. Hello. Oh, so here's the thing. When someone says hello, there's usually a response back. So let me just tell you what's going on. You're being rude and disrespectful to your probation officer. You act like you're not on probation. When I say there's to be no contact, there's to be no contact. And now you're using profanity towards probation officer like you're not on probation and that this is somehow his fault. It is not. It's all your fault. You're here because you're on deferred adjudication for injuring someone who's an elderly person. That's why you're here. You're not on probation because he placed you on probation. You're not on probation because he committed a crime and you're taking the time for him. You're here because of your actions and you're acting as though none of this is your fault. This is all your fault, 100%.
I'm not acting like that. It's my fault, and I take accountability for what I've done.
No, you have not taken accountability. Did you take accountability for using profanity towards him? No.
No, I didn't.
And I don't know why people think that when you're in a situation where you should be using logic to find what are using your cognitive skills to decide how I'm going to proceed with this, instead, you go after your probation officer. And the probation officer, let's be honest, every defense attorney will tell you a probation officer holds your life in their hands because you know what? Let's say you're supposed to report to probation at 9 a.m. and you end up reporting at 9:05. Guess what? You have not reported at 9 a.m. A probation officer could say, hey, that's a no report. But sometimes they may take sympathy on you and say, I realize what's going on. They're here, but they don't have to do that.
Yes.
And you using profanity towards a probation officer is not helping your case at all.
And I understand that. And the reason why I did, and I didn't, I just said the F word because he called me a liar. And when I didn't lie to him about any situation that was going on, I sent them all the information from my legal aid lawyer. I sent them everything. He even gave me his personal number for me to contact him. When I had to go to the emergency room and had to get a blood transfusion, he even offered to take me there. He called.
This is not your blood. This is not about your blood.
I know it's not about my blood, but it's he basically, when I went to go see him, he was telling me that I lied to him, which I never lied to him about anything.
No. This starts with you wanting to go to a location where I said you are not allowed to have contact. That's where all of this came up. Then everything snowballs into something else.
Yes, ma'am. And I did exactly what you told me to. I didn't go to that location. I filed my police reports. I did everything that I could do without going to that location.
All right, so then that was it. I don't know, what do you expect him to do? Like, I like for people to just put their cards on their table. Sometimes people are like, judge, but I like everybody to have an understanding. So you go to him because you want to go to a location and retrieve items when I told you you couldn't go to that location. So we're back to the point. What did you want him to do?
I asked him, was there any assistance or any way that I could? He told me, I don't know.
Mhm.
He told me he didn't know, he couldn't help me. So I didn't have no other choice but to call the police, make a police report. I had my daughter, she's 16 years old, to go there. When she went there, she took pictures of everything that was outside.
All right, so again, what did you want him to do? He said, hey, I don't know, there's nothing I can do for you.
When I contacted Miss Adams, she told me to ask my probationer if there's any assistance that he can help me or provide without going to that location.
And he's saying no.
And he said no. And I told him I don't have no other choice. My children is 16 and 18. They didn't have the money. They don't have money for you all. My daughter just quit her job because no one was able to take her to work. So I didn't have nobody else to help me get
So
anything.
again, I don't know how this translates into you using profanity against him. He's like, I can't help you. And honestly, it's not his job to help you get your things. Really, you know what a probation officer's job really is? And they'll correct me if I'm wrong, but their job is to make sure that you abide by your conditions, Everything else that they're doing is just extra, but that's not their job. It's not, for example, if you can't pay your utilities, it's not their job to find places for you to pay utilities. They'll do it. They'll say, here's some places that you can call. But that's not his job. And if he tells you, I can't help you with getting your things, again, we're back to the point. He says, I can't help you. So what do you want him to do? He's like, I can't help you.
And
How does that translate into using profanity against him? And then telling him, sending him an email, telling him all this is his fault and it's on his shoulders. It's not. All of this happened because of you. Guess what? You can't go to that location because you injured an elderly person. That's why it's all your fault. And there are consequences for all our actions.
It is, and I communicated with him. I told him everything. I sent every case number. I even sent him my legal aid information. I sent everything. I tried to do everything the right way before it even went out of hand.
But see, here's what you don't understand, and you're not internalizing what I'm saying. He is telling you, I can't help you with that. And you still keep going back to him. He's already told you, I can't help you with that. Giving him numbers to your legal aid, giving him numbers to this person saying, we're trying to help her get her things. He can't help you with that. His whole role is to supervise you on probation. That's it. He can't say, you know what I'm going to do? I tell you what, let me go over there and get your things for you. He can't do that. That's not his job. Now, if he offers to do that, great, but he doesn't have to. He has told you more than once, I cannot help you with that. I still don't understand how that goes and translates into you using profanity against him. His job is hard as it is. And then to have somebody come in and use profanity against them, that's an issue. And then to have you go into that location when you know you're not supposed to, that's an
I
issue.
never did go to the location. I didn't. I had to call the police for a different location. To make
All right, so you called the police and then what happened?
I made the police report. I went down to the property. I also went down to 315, the headquarters, to fill out all the information because the day I was arrested, everything was stolen. My car, my credit cards, everything. So I'm trying to do everything that I have to do the best way that I can, the right way.
All right, the right way is not using profanity against your probation officer. That's not the right way. The right way is not being disrespectful. And you know what? This whole thing with the injury to the elderly, where are the anger management, you do have an anger problem. Because when people tell you no, you can't accept that, you take it to 100. He said, I can't help you with that. And then you use profanity against him. You're calling him all sorts of names. Nobody likes to be called out there, give a name.
I didn't call him out his name. I just said it was fine. I didn't have no other choice. So I would have to figure it out.
No, we're not here because you said it was just fine. Where is the officer? You're Officer Wolf?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Are you able to go to her former location and get her items for her? No,
No, ma'am.
that's your answer, no. Are you able to file a police report for her so she can get her items?
No, ma'am.
So he can't do that. So what do you want from him?
I have to do it on my own. So if there's something he can help me with, and then that's
Well, see, that's the thing. Now, when you're before me and you're looking at potentially going to prison, now you're like, oh, well, he can't help me with that. He's told you that. Be an adult, solve your own problems. This is supposed to be problem solving. That's why you're on probation, for anger management issues, because you can't problem solve. I don't know, maybe you never were taught to problem solve, but if he's telling you, no, he can't do that, that's not in his job description, then there's no need to use profanity against him. He's told you, I can't do it.
Judge, if I could.
Yes.
speak for a minute. Throughout my time working with Ms. Holmes, it's been pretty apparent that she has a pattern of not taking responsibility or accountability for her behavior. This last incident just kind of made it painfully obvious how there's a deeper issue.
Mhm.
There's a heart issue. Until she can get her heart right, this pattern of behavior is going to continue for her throughout her life.
Mhm.
And she's gonna continue to be a danger to herself, to the community, to her victim, everybody. She needs to get her heart right and realize that choices and actions have consequences, good and bad. Unintended and unintended, anticipated, unanticipated, and until she gets her heart right and realizes that this is just gonna continue.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming down.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're gonna have to start using your cognitive skills and your problem solving. That's it. When somebody tells you they can't do something, then they can't do it. If somebody tells you, no, I can't take you to the grocery store today, figure it out. He is not really responsible for anything outside of his job description. If he does something outside of his job description, that's just probation officers being nice.
And I understand that, but why would you offer to try to help me when I'm asking for some type of help, and then you tell me you can't help me?
Yeah, he said no. Let me just tell you, here's a perfect example. And I've been in situations where people have told me no. And my thing is, I want you to not send me place to place. If the answer is no, just tell me no and I'll figure it out. He told you no. If I ask him right now, like for example, I had to rush here this morning because I don't like being late. And I was filling in for somebody else on another matter. And guess what? My tank is at a fourth. I don't like it being at a fourth. Now, would somebody go, excuse me, could you go and put gas in my car for me? They're going to say no. Now, what do I do with that? Do I use profanity against him? How dare you not go put gas in my car? He's just told me no. So guess what? As an adult, I got to figure it out. That's it. You got to figure it out. And your figuring it out is, let me get angry with somebody and use profanity against them. And maybe they'll then become so afraid of something and say, okay, we'll do that for you. Not his job. And I can tell you right now, if you don't start treating people with respect, one, you're not going to get anywhere, because when you disrespect people, they don't want to help you.
And I'm
And
just
number two,
with respect.
no, you did not. That's the thing. You're still in this clouds. Like these are not, I don't know how your relationships are outside of this world, but in this world, you need to treat people with respect, whether you respect them or not. Like right now, you can hate my guts all you want to, but you had better say your honor or judge. You understand? You better not be calling me out of my given name, and you better not be calling probation officers out of your given name. I'm sure he told you, no, I cannot help you. And when somebody says, no, I cannot help you with something, maybe you want to ask them again. You ask them again. If you ask the third time, you're begging. And he's already told you he can't help you with that. That is not his job. That is outside his job description. If he decides to help you outside of his job description, just him being nice. You need to figure it out. The same way people have children and you figured out how to have children, you need to figure out how to get the rest of your life together. You're on probation because of your actions. And honestly, the reports I received, I will tell you, when I received that report, I told them, file a motion to revoke. And then probation came to me and said, Judge, could we do a compliance hearing and have her come in? And I'm like, yeah, if you all want to do a compliance hearing, we will do a compliance hearing. So this is the last time I'm having this conversation with you, telling you, you need to be respectful to people and you need to learn how to problem solve. How old are you?
33.
You're 33-year-old. You figured out how to get all of those piercings, right? You figured out how to get the nails. You figured all of that out on your own. You need to figure this out on your own. Is there anything else you need from me?
No.
All right. Does she need to, when is her next report date? And are you employed?
You told me I had 30 days to find a job. I had a business, but all my stuff is gone.
All right. So that'll be a no. So Miss Ferguson, recall her for the week of August 11th, and I'm gonna see how you're doing on probation. What date?
I can do that my date, the 11th.
All right, so you're coming back on August 11th for me to get a report on what's going on. If you'll give her a reset form, probation,
Yes, Judge.
when is her next report date with you?
It's not, I have an appointment set right now, from Officer Wolf's information, she was supposed to be reporting.
He wrote on the paper, July 9th.
Twice a month.
July 9th?
That's what he wrote on the paper.
All right, so she said her next her next appointment date with him is July 9th. All right,
I have to confirm, Mr. Wolf was mentioning that the GPS is supposed to have been installed as well, but that she did not have it.
all right.
I don't have nowhere to stay, nor address.
It was ordered June 5th. And it was supposed to be done through work release waive the fees for partial for employment purposes only.
All right, so if you all could give her a list of places for her to find housing. And then we're gonna come back on August 11th, and by August 11th, you need to have the GPS on. All right, thank you. And the persons who are here for the VTC, please.
Ms. Holmes, Loretta Holmes?
Okay, yes. So on, let me see, okay, well, she knows she's supposed to be here. All right, so on this case, yes. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
So, Miss Abrams, where are we?
So Judge, Ms. Holmes is doing fairly well.
Mhm.
She reports to have obtained employment, which begins on the 23rd or 25th.
Mhm.
25th. She has enrolled in her anger management class, which begins on the 23rd. She's found temporary housing with a friend. She is trying to get into her own place, and we'll talk about that in a little bit further. Her children start school here soon. There is some issue with one of the children. We don't know if she's already fully enrolled because of the GPS requirements. So I'm gonna ask for something with the GPS. She's been making her probation meetings. She reports to not have had any contact with whom she's not supposed to have contact with, nor the address. She seems in much better spirits today than what we've seen in the past.
Mhm. All right, so how old are your children?
16 and 18.
All right, and so which issue with the school with regards to GPS?
It's on a different side of town.
All right,
And so she needs to make sure that she's fully enrolled into school.
okay. So what do we need to do?
So Judge, at this point, we're asking that the GPS, she's not had any compliance issues with the GPS. And we're asking if the GPS can be changed to tracking only.
Any objection?
No.
All right, so then it will be GPS tracking.
I did tell her that if you order GPS tracking only, Judge, that to make sure she still does not go where she's not supposed to go. And she understood that.
Okay. All right, is there anything else?
Not at this point, Judge. Do you, Ms. Holmes, do you have anything, any concerns or anything?
No, not really no major concerns. I just want to be able to go look for a place for me and my children.
All right, So do you need help with finding housing?
That would be great. And also just being able to go out and go put in the applications, because I asked GPS and they're telling me that it's not approved. I have to ask for.
Well, here's the thing, that issue has already been solved. You'll be on GPS tracking, but with regards to GPS tracking, you are not, are you chewing gum?
Yes,
Mm-mm,
sorry.
that's okay. All right, so with GPS tracking, you're allowed to move freely about the city, except no contact with the complainant, no contact with the address, don't go on that street. You understand? Because GPS tracking will show your routes and where you're going. So, let's see, you're able to see if they can do something with housing as far as give her different resources where she can go.
Give her the information for the reentry center, Miss Sandoval, see if they can provide any help.
All right, so they will do that. Is there anything else?
No, Judge,
State anything you,
No.
all right, state you may be excused. All right. Yeah, they don't understand how loud that is and I can't hear when they're running paper. Anything else you need from the court? All right, so do we need to do another status update with her?
Judge, if we do that status update, because she just secured that job, I would ask that it's either on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and if we can do it via Zoom, that would be great.
All right, so we'll do a status update date by Zoom. And I know usually with employments, they put you on a probationary period. So-
That's why I asked for a Tuesday or Wednesday, because I think those are the days she's gonna be off.
All right, so Norma, if you can give me a reset on this in 60 days on a Tuesday or Tuesday, okay,
Stick with our rules.
all right. I feel like I need to go pick up my baby. Call somebody who has a private plane, go pick her up.
She's fine.
You need cameras.
Summer, if they're gonna figure out.
It's at 3. That's insane. No.
She probably gonna like it too much.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go with that. She's gonna enjoy it too much.
There you go.
October 7th, Judge.
All right, October 7th, once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Make sure you stay in contact with your probation. If there's some issues, let probation know. If you feel like they're not addressing it, you can come back to the court. All right, thank you.